this. We have the Batman v Superman trailer.
I said that they were going to try to get in on the Star Wars hype, and they did. They really did.
So, in a nutshell, I mean, I want to talk about this for a few minutes. So,
All right.
how did you feel? Well, I mean, there's a lot of impression videos, like, hey, this is reaction videos. Like, what was your first reaction, gut reaction? Without getting into too much detail, just tell me, like, the first gut reaction you had of that. Did you like it, not like it? Were you excited about it? Were you like, were you mixed about it? Because we'll go into detail, but first, I want to know first impressions.
First of all, there are two. We're talking about the big one, not the sneak.
Yes.
Okay.
We're talking about the big one.
The big one, my first impression was...
well, should we talk about the sneak first?
No, we're here. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about the sneak briefly.
All
right. My first impression was, that was funny.
Right?
Because it is funny. And this is what occurred to me, because they have been talking a lot, there's been a lot of talk about the differences in the universes, if we're to talk about Marvel for a moment.
Right.
Marvel is considered the lighthearted, there's a lot of humor, a lot of bells and whistles, colors, such. DC, somber, darker tones.
Right,
Never really,
right.
There's really no lightness. This was a moment where the producers were clearly saying, no, we can be funny.
Right.
It was funny.
Right.
Is she with you? I thought she was with you.
That was a good moment. You're right. I like those moments.
Funny. And my other first impression was, okay, the voice. It doesn't sound like gravel.
I like it.
Works for me.
But it's modulated.
Yes, it's modulated. He's got some kind of a voice changer on it, which I think is a good idea. Here was my big impression. Huge plot point revealed. It's only been hinted at, but we found out for certain what Luthor's plan is, because he came jumping out of the building he's been created in, and it's Doomsday.
Doomsday
He doesn't have the spikes. Maybe they thought that he might look too much like a Skylander toy.
Right.
He's got no
Skylander toy.
He's got no spikes.
He's got no spikes. He's got no spikes.
Upon my head.
You know what's funny? Because the whole time I was watching it, I was like, is that Darkseid or Doomsday? I had to look it up after.
Doomsday.
And it is Doomsday.
But here's the kicker with the whole Doomsday thing.
What's that?
And the fact that much of this material is taken from The Dark Knight Returns.
Right.
It creates the possibility, anyway, that we are looking at an intersection of two end games with respect to these characters.
Right.
We have Batman, who's already been said by the producers emphatically, this is the older, more beat up, grizzled, has been down the road a few times Batman up against Superman, this new living god who, as far as we know, is completely unbeatable. And he's we know if you're have paid any attention to the comic book universe at all, you know that Doomsday was the death of Superman.
He is. Which, if you read it now, I read it. It was funny. I read Doomsday. Read The Death of Superman.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3 months ago, and it does not hold up. It is so 90s.
Yeah,
it's so
90s. Of course it is.
But
like,
the point is, ponytail.
The death does happen at the hands of Doomsday, and the other detail is that the Dark Knight Returns ends, of course, with Batman faking a heart attack in order to remove himself from the public scrutiny so he doesn't end up in jail.
Right. But that was pretty cool. But I mean, I like the whole idea of Doomsday. I mean, what did you think of the design? I like the design of Doomsday. I thought he was kind of... he looked...
I missed the spikes. I wouldn't have minded a Skylander toy.
Did you want spikes?
I wouldn't have minded a Skylander toy. Skylander toys are cool.
That's a few more. He would not suffered from a few more spikes on the shoulders.
You might want Gormiti. Remember Gormiti?
I wanted like a few spikes right here.
Little Gormiti toys.
I have no idea what that is.
Little monsters that lived on this island.
Gormiti?
Gormiti. I bought these for my sons. They were like these little tiny plastic creatures.
How many years ago? Modern or new?
No, it was very 5 or 8.
Anyway,
he kind of looked like one of those to me.
Yeah, he looked like a kind of a different version of the Thing from Marvel.
But here's the big one. Oh my God, the big one. He lets fly with his heat vision, of course, because he's Kryptonian. He's going to have a boatload of heat vision, and because he's a monster, it's coming from his mouth too. He's got heat and mouth vision.
He's got heat and mouth vision.
But he's like unleashing this freaking explosion that just seems to burn everything up in sight, except.
Wait. You didn't even talk about who he was shooting. Who was he shooting? He was shooting Batman.
He was shooting at Batman.
Batman's
and Superman. No, he's after both of them because they're both standing there.
Right. But I think it's like Batman. It's like the whole thing. I think Batman like crashed because they have the plane there, and it's like I speculate that like the plane crashed, and it's like Batman crashed, and he's like, oh crap.
Crash?
Dude, how many Batplanes does he have? Does he have like? I bet does he have like?
The Batplane in the first movie.
Does he have like a parking garage full of?
He's got endless resources. Yes, he's a sitting duck, and he's about to say, oh shit. And And the Doomsday lets fly, and it all gets absorbed though and our heroes are not harmed because who has shown up?
Right, Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman, and she's got the shield that has absorbed
all of the energy. And what I thought was funny too is like it was like literally like a sphere of energy. It was like red energy, like
and
everywhere.
That's when they had the moment. Is she with you?
Is she with you? Yeah, which we thought was pretty hilarious. But anyway, like I want to talk about my first impression. I liked it. When I saw it yesterday, I was excited. I was extremely excited. Like I liked. I was dumb. It was late last night when I saw it, and I thought it was. First second, I thought it was Darkseid, and I was like, I was like talking to my roommate, and I was like, I think it's Darkseid, or it might be Doomsday. He's like, you should probably know that, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna look that up, and it was Doomsday, correct, right? And I was like, that's pretty cool, right? But like, we didn't talk about I like the my first. Well, anyway, I want to talk about first impressions. I liked it. I was excited. I was excited about the beginning. I was excited about the subtle scenes. I was excited about the beginning, and honestly, like I actually saw Jesse Eisenberg actually performing as that character. I'm not performing in a bad way, but actually I haven't seen too much of him in the trailers because it's been mostly focused on the action and like
it's a completely different take on Luthor.
Anyway, we'll get into that.
I'm good with that. I'm good with it.
But anyway, I was pretty excited about it. And again, I'm getting more and more excited about Gal Gadot, dude. She is gonna be awesome as Wonder Woman. Oh yeah. But anyway, that was my first impression. So how do you feel about the Lex, his take on the, and we got it's not Lex Luthor that we think, it's Lex Luthor's son, is the thing. That's why he's younger.
That's cool.
That's kind of a different take on the whole thing.
And of course, our if he's Lex Luthor's son, we've got Gene Hackman, we've got Kevin Spacey, we've got the various. We've got, of course, Clancy Brown, the voice.
Right.
And so we say to ourselves, what would his son be like? This is none of those guys. Eisenberg's take on Luthor is completely unique. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with it because the character is always trying to run a scam of some kind.
Right.
And so the idea that he would be affable, kind of high-pitched, kind of a, either, I wouldn't call him annoying. The thing about his... The thing about his persona is that if you present yourself as kind of this harmless geek or whatever you're trying to be, you don't feel threatened by that person.
Right.
And so that person, if they are a threat, is really able to run a whole operation right into your nose.
Right.
And that's kind of what I get from his whole manner. That he's trying very hard to be unobtrusive, not a threat to these two guys, but in the meantime, he's manipulating the entire situation.
What about introduction too? He's like Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, it's almost like he knows who they are. Really.
My problem with that is like obviously Bruce Wayne's a billionaire, but who the hell is Clark Kent? He's a random reporter that I'm sure as a billionaire tycoon's son, he has sloughed up. Lex Luthor has probably sloughed off a million times.
Yeah, but the thing is, in that his line of questioning suggests that he's been a thorn in someone's side.
Right.
And that's kind of leads to an interesting, probably the best part of the trailer that we kind of overlooked. Is that little exchange between Bruce and Clark Kent when he's kind of questioning him on the vigilante, people living in fear and yada yada yada, and he kind of says to him that he's got a lot of nerve talking about mass vigilantes and threats to the populace when they've got Superman, who basically is a national hero every time he rescues a cat out of a tree, but he's got the power to blow up the entire world. And he said, "Pardon me if I don't share your sentiment. Gotham is an interesting history with
jokers
in suits. Yeah, clowns in suits.
Which I thought was kind of heavy-handed.
I loved it.
It's what we wanted.
It showcased a moment of Bruce Wayne from Affleck.
Right.
And the question has been all this time, what's he going to do? And we got a taste. We got to hear him deliver a line.
Plus we got the smirk.
Yeah. And on the smirk, it's go and look at that. Batman approves this.
Batman approves.
I even have the damn thing, and it's the smirk. It's like he looked at it for days until he figured it out. I respect that.
I respect it too. Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. Like I like the exchange.
I'm excited too.
I thought honestly, I thought him and I like kind of the age difference because Ben Affleck's a little older. But I mean, they're supposed to be around the same age. I mean, I guess I'm okay. But that's them trying to combine like two different universes. But you got to understand, it's like Gotham. It's like their take.
Yeah.
It's Zack Snyder's take on Batman v Superman, and honestly, like we're seeing all the footage and the Wonder Woman and the Doomsday and the Batman and Lex Luthor, I am more and more pumped.
And in the spirit of his take, we something that brings us to the sneak.
Right.
There's an interesting quirk that he's kind of thrown in there. If this is true, I don't know, of course.
Right.
But it would seem, based on the whole desert Batman sequence.
Ooh, Batman. Excuse me. Batman of Arabia.
Batman of Arabia. It would seem that Superman's Fortress of Solitude is not in the Arctic, but it is in the desert. And
it's in the desert.
It's in the desert. And the sneak that we see.
Why is he in the desert?
Who knows?
Dry out there?
But Batman tries to infiltrate it, whatever it is. It's a compound that's affiliated with him because he's got these acolytes that are guarding the place. And Batman has evidently been caught trying to infiltrate it. So he's hung from the ceiling with chains. And there's a couple other guys in there too.
Right.
And Superman drops into with force, drops into the tunnel.
That was a kind of a cool scene too. I like that moment too because that was a really cool scene because he just lands in there. He's like,
and he hit it perfectly.
Boom,
you know he hit it perfectly from like 200,000 feet.
Right.
And
he was like in the the stratosphere.
And then all his acolytes kneel, which is very Derfure-ish.
That was unsettling for me because like
idea, I think.
the Superman that I know, like he wouldn't be cool with that. You know, he's more of a modest dude.
Yeah, but it's almost as if these are not. How do you give the most powerful being on Earth a bodyguard? You don't.
Right.
You know,
there's like 6 dudes there, like I'll protect you, man. Like don't worry about Superman.
He's not there or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you gonna guard this sand?
Yeah.
I'm worried about that sand. That's kryptonite sand.
You know, and Supes has got a really pissed off look on his face the whole trailer.
It's that Christopher Nolan influence. It's that whole
scowling.
Where every superhero's got a scowl, and I bet there's gonna be a million scenes where he's like looking over a city, like thinking, like, man, dude, this is rough. It's tough on my shoulders, man. And it's like, dude, shut up.
And we're just gonna note it because it's been talked about endlessly, but he turns his head.
Oh, yes.
Turns his head, yes.
It's not like the old '89 Batman. Where
he does it twice. They really want to make sure we saw it.
I was watching some scenes like Batman Returns, and he was so like,
oh my god, the poor guy was a statue. Yep. But he turns his head and
like, a lot of.
Imagine being stuck.
But
how many, like 18-hour shooting days in that thing?
Honestly, I like the design of the cowl, and I like how it's more mobile, and I like how it's not like it doesn't have to be like an armor. You know what I'm saying? Can it just be leather?
It looks like something you could move in. Which
exactly.
Makes sense.
And he like very calmly looks. He looks around.
And then pissed off Superman walks up and does what no one should do. And it kind of reminded me of course, this is one of the scenes I've been waiting for.
Right.
Is the scene, you remember World's Finest? The first Batman Superman animated series.
Yes.
Adventure. Remember he looks through his mask when he's trying to question the mobster in the club.
Oh yes.
And he sees you peaked. And then he gets back at him by planting a tracer on his cape, following him back to his apartment. He makes him his Clark Kent, and he gives him the thumbs up scene before he flies off. Right.
Right.
That was a beautiful scene. It was in the animated series. And
that was a good.
So I'm thinking about how they're going to play that off because he pulls off his mask and he holds it up, and of course at that moment, in possession of Batman's identity, he has a power over him that no one should have. And so he's got to even score somehow.
Right.
So I said to myself as I saw that, ooh, you're going to pay for that, alien. You were going to pay for that dearly.
Well, that's like the one thing he has. And in that movie, too, like he had his identity. That's the only thing he had on him. Because what else would you have on Batman?
Yeah. And of course it brings us to the ludicrous, the constant ludicrous concept that exists in comic book films and comic books themselves.
Please. What is this concept?
That a pair of glasses could actually disguise a man's face to make you not recognize him when he's a Superman in costume.
Hey, shut your eyes. All right, look.
Mike Chernokis.
Shut your eyes. Completely different person.
Still Mike Chernokis.
Yeah, I know, right? It doesn't work on anybody. It doesn't.